just knowing how you feel on the inside. When somebody asks you to do something, or something's expected of you, and you don't want to do it for whatever reason.
Okay, I am alive. So,
you to do it. You need to be able to have the ability to just say no. And by doing the processes of the transformation, you will get yourself to a point where it's safe to say no.
Just waiting my turn at the women's conference to go on and speak. And I'm just doing my makeup so it'll be nice and fresh.
When you're reacting, you're not acting of your best self, number one. Number two, when you're reacting, you're bringing out something that's not really what you wanted in the first place. You didn't think about it, you just reacted. You need to go from reaction to aligned action. Here's the way to do it. When something happens, whatever it is, let's say someone says something horrible to you.
And this is the New York or NK New York Bold Lip in the shade dark brown. And this is Roxy Kisses or Rudy Kisses. This is my go-to lip combo.
It's an act of self-love and self-care, number one. But number two, it gives you a moment to just sit with what was said or done. And bring it in, internalize it. Okay, what do I think about this? How do I want to respond to this? Feel into it. And then take a second to choose your answer based on what's best for you.
Okay, now we just sit and wait. And you will hear me say good morning to them because this is going to be in Singapore. And in Singapore, it is 9:40 or 9:30 in the morning. So when I say good morning to them, good evening to you. Now I'm just waiting my turn.
So integration is probably the most important part. So I want to take you through a quick little process. In just a couple minutes. And if you could all just close your eyes. And just close your eyes and feel into your body. And just feel into whatever the last thing was that upset you or really threw you off center. And feel where that is in your body.
So you can hear what's going on. The last couple of minutes of Miss Heidi Lynn's presentation. And this is the Women's Health Conference in Singapore. And it's highlighting fertility, innovation in medicine, and all those great things.
Giving yourself love.
And I'll be speaking on my personal experiences as a PCOS patient. And you'll be able to get to hear more of my story.
In your head,
so this is exciting, right?
That thought. And just maybe make it look kind of like a ball in front of you in your head, or feel it however people either hear, feel, or do. And bring the energy of that thought and how that thought makes you feel if you had done that instead. And bring that to the part of your body. For me, it's usually my heart. And then just feel that energy of that good feeling that you have of what you should have said. It would have made you feel better and more powerful and give yourself more self-love.
Please allow everyone to accept what I have to say in the most positive, beautiful, loving way.
That area of your body.
I hope this reaches somebody that needs it. Thank you for this opportunity.
Take a deep breath. And let it go.
Amen.
And then When you feel ready,
we are ready to
you can go ahead
go.
and open your eyes. Now that's just a small version of one of the processes that I do, where it's feeling into things in your body and releasing them. But anytime something happens and you go home later, or at some point you think, man, this thing really didn't go the way I wanted, and I'm really upset about it. Imagine that part of your body. Imagine the thing that happened. Imagine and feel where that is in your body. Really go into that feeling. And if you want to cry or scream or yell or whatever, just let it out. And then think of the thing that you would have done if you would have truly been giving yourself self-love. And then put that energy into that area and watch it expand, like a white light expanding in that area. And then just breathe and let it go. That's a really powerful process that does body, mind, and spirit, and it clears out things that are stuck energy in your body. You know, a lot of times when something happens and we just say, oh, time will heal it. Not necessarily. Because I know people that can be triggered over stuff that happened 10 years ago. You do have to go in and release these things in your body and let them go. So that's a really powerful process for you. So I hope you guys are taking notes. So I just want to review the points here. So my method is called the self-mastery method. The 3 steps. Awareness. Awareness of the programs, the patterns, and the beliefs that you have, that you've been holding on to, that are disempowering, that are not helping you in life. The triggers that are created every time you say something or someone else says something within inside you. Right? And the feelings inside your body when these things happen. Awareness of those. Transformation. Finding modalities that work for you in the 3 areas, body, mind, and spirit, that you can use to help you transform those beliefs. And I really believe that there's no such thing as a cookie cutter solution. We're all different people. We all have different beliefs, religious beliefs, just beliefs about life, opinions. I would never want to stick one modality on somebody. You got to do what works for you. So transformation is the next part. That's the key, is transforming them. But doing it, something for your body, for your physical body, something for your mind, your conscious and your subconscious mind, and something for your energy, your spirit. Because we're all made up of electromagnetic energy. And there's a lot of stuck energy in people who aren't happy, or who are sick, or have anything going on in themselves. The 3rd step, and the most important step, is once you've cleared those patterns and you've transformed them, you're going to integrate the tools that you've learned and start stepping into the new you. You're going to integrate it into your life, however that works for you. And that's really important too, is making sure that the way you integrate it into your life works for you. Like for myself, every day it's meditation first thing in the morning, and then yoga. And then I go get ready, and then I go about my day. And then somewhere in the middle of the day, I do another meditation to clear my energy. And before I go to bed, I have a nightly routine.
Okay, so I'm just going to talk to you for a little bit while I'm waiting on my cue.
I am still a work in progress, and I'm totally human.
I am so excited for this. This is going to be so amazing. Thank you all for being a part of this with me. I hope you learned something. You're definitely going to learn about me. There might be some teary moments. We don't know. I did tear up a little bit in my last one. And usually always whenever I talk about this, it does bring up some tears. But this is going to be good. I'm excited. I'm excited to finally start getting the word out about PCOS, and not only just the infertility factor, but the hirsutism factor. It needs to be said. And thank you for being here to listen. That means a lot. I truly appreciate you and all the support, even if it is just for listening to the videos or watching my makeup videos, reading a post on my social media, reaching out to me if you need any advice in communications or anything like that. So I'm excited. This is going to be a great new chapter, and it's just beginning.
And I will tell you that it is a superpower. It is an absolute superpower. So at this point, again, if anybody has any questions, I don't see questions in the chat. Let me know. I wanted to see if you would do a quick survey for me, and I'm going to go ahead and put it in the chat. And I'm going to put up here real quick. I have a QR code.
Okay, I'm getting ready.
Let me get out of the way.
I will be concentrating more over here, but I will be looking back and forth. So
and that's just a quick
we
survey
shall
to
see.
tell me what you thought about today's talk. And I have something for you if you'd like. What you have to do is if you do the link, you have to put in the word gift. And if you do the QR code at the end, when it sends you to my website, just scroll down almost to the bottom. There'll be me sitting there like this, meditating. And it says buy. Click on buy and put in the word gift. And it will send you my clearing and healing meditation. This is an amazing meditation because it puts you into a good space. It's also guided for anybody who is neurodivergent, ADHD. So I have a lot of clients that are. It helps you ground. It helps you clear out the things that are within you. It helps set you up with amazing I ams and energy for the new day. And it helps you protect your energy. I have clients who sometimes do it 2 or 3 times a day, or anytime they've had a stressful situation, they'll go listen to it. I have clients from years ago that still tell me, I listen to that every single morning. So that's your gift. And let me put in my email and my website as well. That way, if you weren't able to do the survey, you're more than welcome to email me or go to the website and click the contact form and ask me for the meditation. I am happy to give it to you. Just say that you came from the Women's Health Conference. So I want to get back real quick to, sorry, I'll leave the code up there. I want to get back to the story that I started telling you at the beginning about my dad. So I didn't talk to him for years.
Okay, I thought I was getting ready to be queued up.
My mom called me and said, "Hey, Christmas is coming up.
I was supposed to start at 9:40.
Have a brain surgery,
so
and
I'm still waiting. The presenter before me is still.
I don't think he's ever coming out.
Presenting.
He's bad.
So
he's
I'm
really
waiting.
Bad, Heidi. I said, okay.
So it's just a bunch of presentations and waitings right now. Thank you guys for being so patient.
So I go to the nursing home on Christmas morning. We walk in, and I take one look at him, and I know exactly what's going on. I worked before with senior living facilities and nursing homes, helping seniors get off of being over-medicated, and I knew it the second I saw him. Now, the old me, before all this work, I would have taken one look at him and said, well, there's his karma. And I wouldn't have said one word. But the new me, I'm healed, and I believe that all beings have the opportunity and the choice to change. And I love all beings. So what I did is I took one look at my mom and I said, he's over-medicated. Let me take charge. I went to the desk, the nurse's desk, and they knew they were over-medicating him. So it took me 2 hours to get the head nurse there, and I sat and went through his files. And being with a medical conference here, most of you have probably heard of lorazepam. What's it, 25 to 50 milligrams at night, usually before bed? He was getting 200 milligrams of lorazepam a day. I mean, this man was drooling all over himself. He was sliding out of the bed. I'm not joking when I'm telling you, he was in a nursing home and my mother still had to pay for a caregiver to sit there and babysit him. He had to feed him, he had to take him to the bathroom, and he had to make sure my dad didn't fall out of the bed. I mean, it was really bad. So I went ahead and got a hold of a geriatric doctor who weaned him off the medicine. He got home. He started to get better. Now, in this, we have dementia in our family, and he ended up getting dementia as well. And, you know, it was sad, but I was there visiting, sitting with him, and my uncle actually told him about what he did to us when we were children. I never did it because I know that people who have dementia don't remember a lot, and I really didn't want to give him any grief. And I remember one time he told me that my uncle had told him, and he was just crying, "How could I ever do that to you?" I mean, I don't know if it was the dementia or the brain surgery, but this evil person that he was literally non-existent. He was just this nice old guy. And he really cared about me, and I actually had a real dad for once. And it was amazing, you know, and we became friends. And he passed a few years.
Shoot. Shoot. How do I do this? Whew. So technology illiterate.
Recording in progress. Experiences with us. It was so motivating. So if anyone having any questions, you can just unmute yourself and ask your queries, or you can drop your queries in the chat box for Heidi.
I don't see any questions. Well, hopefully you all have had taken some notes about the process, and if you're welcome to reach out to me as well if you'd like to know how to do the process. It's so simple. It's really life-changing.
Yeah, I think there are no questions, Heidi. Once again, thank you for joining.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
You all have a wonderful day. It was such a pleasure.
My turn.
Bye-bye.
Okay, let's move on to our next presentation. Our next presentation will be by Aisha Westmoreland from Uniquely Aisha LLC USA, presenting on the title Living Out Loud, Navigating PCOS and Hirsutism with Confidence. Aisha, you can unmute yourself and start your presentation.
Yes, hello, everyone. Good morning to you for those overseas. I know it's about 9 something in the morning for you. It's 9:30 the night before for me. So thank you for having me. Thank you so much. It is an honor to be here. I am Aisha Westmoreland, owner of Uniquely Aisha, and I am a living out loud. Well, yeah, now it's easy. I can say that, right? But it hasn't always been easy. You see, I have PCOS. I was diagnosed with PCOS 26 years ago at the age of 13. And, you know, it's the vital point of every kid's life, you know, their teenage years, preteen years. You're just really learning yourself and getting to know life. And I had to do that with that horrible cloud over my head of PCOS. Everything was fine until I started growing hair all over my body. And you know, at that point in your life, you want to be like the pretty girl. You see the Spice Girls and girls on TV, the video girls, and you think, I want to be that pretty. I want to be like that, you know? But when you walk out that door, nobody sees you like that. And it's okay. You're 13. You think you're grown at 13. But it took me a lot of years and a lot of practice, trials, tribulations, life smacking me in the face left and right. I beat my own self up for having PCOS. Yeah, people made fun of me. But one thing that always stuck in my head when the people made fun of me is one day I told my mom about it, and she said, well, maybe if they're talking about you, they're leaving somebody else alone. And maybe that person isn't as strong as you and can't handle it. And that actually gave me a lot of courage to go through life with everything. You know, whenever times got tough, I always thought it's because I'm stronger. I need to be able to handle this for somebody else. With my PCOS, I suffer from the most the most outlandish, and not outlandish, but impactful symptoms that I suffer from are, of course, hirsutism. And I didn't even call it hirsutism until a few years ago. Everybody just always called it male pattern hair growth. But I thought hirsutism sounded a lot more professional, especially for the way I was going in life, you know? So I found that it meant hirsutism, male pattern hair growth. The other is infertility. And the other one is irregular cycles. Yeah, I'll get acne occasionally, the weight fluctuations. When you have hair all over your face like I do, I have a little bit. I have some makeup on right now. I just did a little YouTube get ready with me, as I already have YouTube videos of me trying different foundations and getting a sense of if it's really full coverage, if it'll handle the hirsutism, but I'll get into that later. I don't care about acne if I have a bunch of facial hair. That's the least of my problems, okay? But infertility was a struggle for me for a while. I wanted to have kids like most women. I've tried with some past partners and it didn't work. I took fertility pills. I started those when I was 18. I didn't take them for too long, thank God, because like most relationships, when you get older, you tend to see, you think it's all great while you're going through it, but years later, you're like, whoa, I dodged a bullet like the Matrix. And so even though I did have problems with infertility, I still didn't let that loom over my head as much as the hirsutism does. Maybe it looms over my head harder because I've gotten picked on and ridiculed and things like that for so many years. But it does hurt going through the motions of trying to have a baby and never seeing a result. It got to the point where when I was 30, I said, okay, I put my hands up. I said, God, if it's not going to happen, it's not going to happen. If it is going to happen, it's going to happen on your time. And I'm okay with that. So now I go back and forth. Do I want kids? Do I not want to have kids? I'm about to be 40 this year. I went this long without having kids. I could be the cool aunt, I could do that. But there is a part of me that does want children. And I will have children when I'm ready, whether it's me giving birth, me hiring a surrogate, or going through the adoption process. I don't know what the future has to bring. So I've learned to embrace that and just let that part go. But when I talk about hirsutism, the male pattern hair growth, that hits deeper. That is something that I don't think a lot of doctors talk about as much, especially when it comes to the treatment of PCOS and hirsutism. It's like you only have very few options. And I've been through the electrolysis, waxing, all of that kind of stuff. And I just can't get the psychological damage of what having this did to me. So sometimes it feels like I can't focus on a definite alternative because I've never been presented with one. It's always been the cosmetic factor of it or hormone pills. And it's funny because you can't work on the hirsutism and fertility at the same time. At least that's what I was told by multiple physicians. If things have changed, OBGYNs, if things have changed since then, I would love to know that. But I wish there was a way that I can do both. And I know with dieting, that helps a lot as well. I have been working more on my dieting, but that the hirsutism is a huge crippling factor in my life. And it was a lot worse very early on, between the time I was diagnosed at 13 to when I was about 30 something. You see, when you're in your 30s, you don't care too much about a lot of things anymore. But when you're going through your teens and 20s, that's a very impressionable time for people. That's not only when you're figuring yourself out, you're figuring everybody else out around you and how they interact with you and how they perceive you. And the bullying that I have experienced growing up with PCOS and hirsutism is something I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. And I have to say it slow and close my eyes sometimes because I just spoke about this at the PCOS conference in the UK last week, and I started to bawl. I started to bawl because a lot of times I can't control myself when I think about everything that I've experienced with hirsutism in my life. I've had people write things in my yearbook. I've had people talk crazy reckless to me, about me, behind my back, to my face. I've had people completely dismiss me. I've been My gender has been questioned, if I was a man or a woman or a transgender, and a lot of other things. And I'll get into a lot of those stories later on in my YouTube channel. Please follow me on YouTube and all my social medias. But I had to readjust my whole life to having hirsutism. I had to see what really makes Aisha Aisha. And it took some crazy experiences. Yes. But ironically enough, one of the craziest ones that made me feel the most liberating and the most freeing is when I started dancing, exotic dancing. I felt sexy. And that really gave me a chance to find my femininity. And granted, I did find it a lot sooner, you know, when boys did finally like me. And now I can't even say boys, men. Because there's a difference between what a boy says about it and what a man says about it. A man will accept you for who you are. They'll be understanding. They'll listen. They'll show compassion. But a boy, the kids that were making fun of me in school, they're ignorant to the fact. You know, they just want laughs. They just think life's a game. So it took me finally growing up and maturing and finding mature men to actually allow me to learn and understand what makes me sexy, how I feel sexy, how I feel like a woman. And it's hard when you have people looming over you all the time asking you if you're a man or a woman. What's wrong with you? Why do you have hair on your face? It's very, very, very hard. And the emotional damage that did, it exceeds the physical look of it so much. Because when you think about everything that I've went through, all the ridicule and torture and bullying and everything that I've went through in my life, it breaks me sometimes. It does. I still cry to this day about things. It's something that never goes away. It exceeds the physical look so much worse. Like, I may look like this now, but I feel like I look like somebody with like old man time, father time beard, like a big beard. That's what I feel like when I hear people talk about my hirsutism. And it's not easy. Some people just don't understand. Some people are ignorant, stupid, and just don't care what comes out of their mouth. And I've dealt with it all. And I'm still here today. I'm still standing strong. And I have so much confidence because I found my confidence. I allowed myself to live in every element of what makes me me, the bad and the good. And it's so enlightening and overpowering of satisfaction to know that I can stand here today and talk to you about this, because there was a time where I would just want to hide. I just would want to make sure I was shaved 24/7. I just wanted to feel like the woman that every man wanted instead of the woman that I was supposed to be. And when I flipped that around and realized what I was doing, it was a lot easier for me in life. It was a lot easier. This lighting is not doing too good. But I'm still here today. And I'm a very religious person, so I really owe it all to God. You know, He's gotten me through some trials and tribulations that I never thought I would walk out of. I'll tell you one story so you'll understand what I'm talking about when I say the things that I've been through are hard. We're going to say it like that. There was this one man I was talking to. I went over to his house one day and he saw the hair on my face. And he asked me if I was a man or a woman. And so I said, I'm a woman, of course, And he got really angry, really different, really mean, something just completely flipped in him. And he said, are you a man or a woman? And I said, I'm a woman. What are you talking about? Let's talk, have fun, relax. And he had a dog. And he stood his dog right next to him. We were in his room. And he had his dog stand right by his side on guard. And he said, I want to see if you're a man or a woman, strip. And I remember everything in me just fell. I literally thought at that moment I was going to get attacked by a dog. I thought I was going to get bitten alive if this man did not see what he wanted to see. And I mean, I'm a woman, so of course I have what it takes down there. But he had his dog sit and guard, and I just sat there and cried and begged him to just let me leave. I just sat there and I was like, please just let me go. If you're not going to believe me as I am, I'm not going to strip for you. I won't do it. Please just let me go. And I'm doing this bawling, because I'm fighting for my life at this point. Literally fighting for my life. Wanting to just leave that house and be safe. Because I didn't know what was going to happen. And that is just one story that I went through because of Hirsutism. So the anxiety, the embarrassment, the fear, the constant torture and ridicule, it's all there. every day of my life living rent-free up here and out in the world. So I had to learn my confidence, and I had to date and experience life and live for me. And I thought, how can I make it so that this never has, well, it's never not going to happen, but how can I stop this from happening to more people? I don't want this to happen to another woman or girl ever again. I need to be able to do something to really spread awareness about PCOS and hirsutism. Because if you think about PCOS, we talk so much about infertility, but not so much about hirsutism. And it's so important that the patients with hirsutism get the time, support, and treatment that they need, because it's so detrimental to our life. Yes, we want to have kids. Yes, fertility is important. But when you have hair growing out of your face and body, it's not a comfortable feeling. Like right now, I have it on. I have it just to show you that I have hirsutism. And after I go and wash my makeup off, I'm going to shave it right off because it's starting to get itchy. But I thought about it. And I thought, how can I make it better? But to bring the love of journalism and talking to everyone. So I went to school for journalism and mass communications at Ashford University, and I became a journalist, professional writer, communications coach, public speaker, voiceover talent, and PCOS awareness advocate, most of all. I built my company, Uniquely Aisha, on that simple factor that I can be able to have my platform and use it to express to everyone what it means to live with PCOS. And I am living out loud with that now. But I built Uniquely Aisha so I can go into those newsrooms and talk about PCOS from an actual patient standpoint. Because that would reach the readers more, right? That would reach the audience more if they knew that they had somebody that was actually going through it as well. So I became a public speaker, and I'm standing on stages all over the world, computer screens all over the world, just to show people that, yes, I have hirsutism, but that doesn't define me. I can still coexist with my self-confidence and insecurities at the same time. And I built my business to show that there's all women that are beautiful in their own way. Yes, I'm a video vixen, but for my own videos. I don't have to be an Instagram influencer for anybody else but me. You know, I built my business with such motivation to help women going through PCOS know that they're not alone, because for so many years I felt alone, and that was the biggest battle for me, is that I was doing it alone. I didn't have a community. So I knew I had to build a community. And I will spend my life building that community for all women everywhere to be seen and heard, feel beautiful, feel validated in their own right, in their own skin, just like I had to do. I realize now that those times that I've went through was so I can teach other people. You know, I did what my mom told me to do years ago. I took that pain, I took that ridicule, I took that bullying so that somebody that's not as strong as me doesn't have to. So I can stand here right now in this on this platform and show everyone with PCOS and hirsutism that they are not alone. I went through it too. I did it all too. And I'm still here. I'm still fighting. I'm still loving. I'm still staying strong. And I'm still staying unapologetically me. You know, I'm rebuilding the beauty standards. That's why one of the things I always say on my YouTube channel when I do my foundation reviews is I'm PCOS pretty. Yes, I have PCOS, but I'm still pretty. Yes, I have hirsutism, but I'm still pretty. And you are too. To all the women out there, you are pretty too, in your own right, in your own way. And there's going to be people out there that love you unconditionally, that praise you unconditionally, that value you unconditionally. I see that now because I have that. So I'm able to tell that 13-year-old girl going through it that it's okay. You're going to get through it and your life is going to be fabulous. Your life is going to be amazing. You just have to go through these bad parts now. And that's life with everything. You're going to have to go through the good and the bad. Mine just so happened to be hirsutism and PCOS. I turned my pain into purpose. I made it so that everything was available for me to be okay in my own skin. And I did that with Uniquely Aisha. And I continue to do that every day. And I'm so proud of myself for that. Because looking back at that little girl growing up, if you told her that, she would have been like, yeah, okay. Okay, all right. Go about your day, widow. I wish I can go back and tell the younger me what's going on now, so I can give her that confidence and motivation. But I can't, because then I wouldn't be able to be here for you today. And I learned that the hard way. But to all of the medical professionals listening today, if you can get one thing out of this speech, it's to know that your patients with PCOS are not just patients on a chart, are not numbers and letters and words, and it's not just a chart. We're human. When we leave your office, we have to go through those struggles. So please show more compassion. Please show compassion to your patients. Because I've had a lot of medical professionals not show me patience. They just got me in, saw my symptoms, said this, said that, maybe wrote me a prescription or something, but I was never really feeling heard. So please listen to your patients. Take the time to be available for your patients. Because when we talk about the innovation of medical science and fertility and PCOS and any type of medical advancement, it's not just medicine in innovation. It's not just results from tests in innovation. It's not technology in innovation. None of that matters if you don't have communication. Please take the time to communicate. Actually sit there and have valid conversations with your patients, and they will appreciate you so much more. They'll be apt to tell you so much more. And that is where real innovation can thrive, when you have that ability to just have conversations and compassions. So with all innovation, it starts with the communication. And if you need help with that, I'm always available. I am a communications coach. But please know that we are not just patients, we're people. I am a person with PCOS and hirsutism, and I am living out loud every day, unapologetically. So please, thank you for your time and everything. I appreciate you all. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Aisha, for such an empowering and insightful presentation. Actually, love your confidence. Thank you so much. So, if anyone having any queries or if anyone want to talk something, you can just unmute yourself and drop your comments, or you can just give your feedback in the chat box.
Yes, thank you. Does anyone have any questions, comments, or concerns? No?
I think no questions. Once again, thank you, Aisha. Thank you so much for your presentation, and thank you so much for your talk. And we really love your confidence. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, let's move on to our next presentation. Next poster presentation by Alison Go.
Okay, guys, that was my live. That was my presentation on living out loud with PCOS and hirsutism. I hope you learned a little bit more about me, and I will be doing some more content tomorrow about communication. So please stay tuned. Thank you all, and please be unapologetically PCOS pretty in your unique image, okay? Because everyone